Yeah, being anti-Israel seems linked often to being anti-Australia Day. Both seem part of the hatred of the West that's been preached here for too long. Here's the latest example. Elsa Tuit Rosenberg is, of all things, a consultant against racism. She even did work for the Human Rights Commission. But sure enough, she's not just campaigned against Israel, but against Australia Day, now posting this incitement, in my opinion, to vandalism and worse. It's okay to resist the colonial force by any means necessary, she writes. It's just over 2 weeks until Invasion Day, Australia Day. Go and play Snatch the Flag, burn them all. Someone go set fire to Cook's Cottage, go and destroy monuments to colonisation, chop down the European tree, set fire to the heritage sites, F up their dumb war memorials which glorify Western imperialism. Joining me is the panel, Liz Storer of The Late Debate here on Sky, weekdays at 10 p.m, and Stephen Chavura, an author and senior lecturer in history at Campion College. Liz, this has to be one more example of a particularly stupid individual, I got that, but also one more symptom of the self-hatred. I think Peter Dutton is right to say we should fight, starting with celebrating Australia Day on January 26. How important is this cultural war now?
Oh, very, very important, more important than ever. And really, Andrew, this means coming up to this election this year in Australia, Dutton has his playbook made. Populist leaders are taking the West back by storm. We've seen this in the Netherlands, in Argentina, in Italy, in America. We're watching it play out right now in France and Germany. People are sick of having their national pride trampled on, especially by the people that they elected to lead them. And we know the same is true here in Australia. Today, a poll by the IPA showed that 69% of Aussies still support Australia Day, despite all the virtue signalling, despite all the browbeating by the educational institutions. It was particularly heartening to notice that especially young people, there was quite a few people, the younger generations who we would normally suspect aren't going to support Australia Day. The IPA noted that 10% more than last year in that younger age bracket of 18 to 24-year-olds do support Australia Day. So Dutton is just reading the tea leaves here and saying that I'm going to bring back citizenship ceremonies on Australia Day. I am going to fly one flag and one flag alone. This isn't even him going out on a limb here. He knows what the people want, and as any leader should, he's going to deliver.
I hope you're right, Liz, although I'd like to see a little bit more support from some other leading Liberals on this crusade. What do you make of it, Stephen? Because I think Liz is right. This is far beyond Australia. There's also America, Italy, Germany, Holland, so many countries in the West where people, there's grassroots revolt of people demanding the elites value their traditions, value their national symbols, and value their borders. What do you make of what's going on?
Oh, there's definitely a spirit of resistance to the globalist cosmopolitan elites around the world. We've seen it with Trump's resounding victory in America. We're seeing it now with people waking up to the disaster that has been multiculturalism in Britain. I think it's an important thing to note that this young woman that we're talking about, she is a product of Australian universities. It's very important to understand what has created her. And it's really quite amazing. She's clearly doing pretty well in Australia. She's got a successful consultancy firm, getting government contracts. So the colony that she wants to burn down seems to be working pretty well for her. And it's this cognitive dissonance in so many of our youth who are actually doing really well in this country, and yet they think that this country is nothing but systemically racist. And we've got to lay the blame for this squarely at the feet of our universities. And the thing that makes this more dangerous is that she's just not one individual sort of crying out about how horrible and racist Australia is. She actually wants to create anti-racism educational resources for primary schools. So all these ideas that she has, she wants to inculcate, indoctrinate them into the youth. And this is what makes all this sort of thing really, really dangerous, especially at this time in history where our national cohesion around the West has never been weaker.